If your own government is not giving you the opportunity for employment, where are you going to work for employment? So do you know the economic risks? I mean the security risks that portion of Liberians who are employed pose to the stability of our country. Those unemployed young people will eventually turn to Zogos, armed robbers, and a lot of gang will be in the country because they will have to survive. Some of them need a job to sustain themselves in college. You can go to college and you don't have anything. Most of the people are self-read. They don't have parents that are supporting them. So the civil service was serving as that hope for them to hang on. Now he's saying, no, currently, does this government run any cadet program to train? Who do he say as soon as you get college degree, you're automatically professional? Where in the world that comes from? You're not professional because you have a first degree. That's not how people become professional. You become professional from both your academic qualification and that of your job experience. There where competence comes in. This is how Joga man who says he had PhD. I listen to him. His English is even horrible. I challenge that man. But the man that saying do not even have. What kind of man with PhD English horrible that I? And he on step radio saying no kinds of thing. And he's the one bullying people for academic credential. That make him can he sit and pass 101 English? So these are things, and I think the reason he's saying it because their government cannot employ people. Currently, what is the bare minimum pay for civil servants? $150 US. So a man goes to college, AMEU, for example, he pay hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars for his first degree. Is he going to work for $150? Is that why Josiah Joker saying that I should take my first degree and go make $150? So what the essence of having a college education? Is this government waiting to upgrade the salary to at least $500 that can commensurate with the present day realities in our country? Those are structural issues that he's abandoning and just jumping with emotions, talking about the people will not pass the test and all kinds of things he's saying. If the government does not have job for its people, it should inform the people. To say, look, we didn't get job, my people. But you can say you're not employing high school graduates. So where are you sending them? So the private sector should employ them. When you have a policy against high school graduate, you do not have cadet program. Take for example, some people are even janitor. Do I need degree to go and clean office? So our high school education is not enough to tell me to give me basic sense, to tell me what to do. A janitor needs. We in America here, brother. What the people need from you is your expertise on the job. They wasting their time on which university they graduated from, which they didn't think. A friend of mine was joking and telling me, say, yeah, they better do research on credential that you submit. The people want your ability to perform. That's the key thing, your ability to perform. Can you stand for 8 hours? Yes, sir. You stand. At the end of your hour, you calculate your money. Right? America, where the standard of education here, they are not bullying the citizen to say because you didn't go to school, we'll not give you job. If you deny people of job, it is a threat to the stability of the country. People must survive. Already we have the motorcyclists who are already posing serious threat, threatening that people will get missing if they do not give them the rights to ply it on the street. We have not even solved that problem. Then you want to create what's the unemployment rate of our country right now? More than 70% of the people don't have job. This your policy when you implement it, it's going to push that up to around 90% of the people. Josiah Joker will have place to sleep when people don't have food to eat, when you cannot afford to send your children to school. Josiah Joker and his children will sleep in that country. Do you know what will happen? People will rise up. And I think somebody said it here in passing that I think they want to undermine Joe Braga regime. That's what they're doing. The intent is to undermine that Papi regime, and, so that he feels miserably. But the danger about that is that it is affecting the poor people dying of curable diseases, people dying of hunger, starvation killing people. Also, is the leading sickness now in Liberia. People can't afford. You have not addressed the bread and butter issue. The bread and butter issue that when you threatening the survival of our people. This is unacceptable.
Thank
Let
you.
me give
Thank
all
you.
of the chance, my brother.
Thank you so very kindly. My sister Fita, you are welcome again. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you just from work, but thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you. How you doing tonight?
Well, we are grateful. I'm very sure you're listening to Josiah Joker. This is disturbing to say the least. This is something that is very concerning. To have the CSA boss coming up and saying that, as far as he's concerned, those with high school diploma or with a high school diploma that have been employed and have been in the employ of the government, have been working, as far as he's concerned, these people, they will not pass civil servant test. They should not even think about coming. They should think anything outside of government, maybe to go to wherever, but government is not for them. How do you see this? Do you think that this is troubling for our country, or you think he's trying to set up a system? Somebody said to me the last time, my man, the system has been damaged. Everybody can just bring their own people. So now the man trying to straighten the system, you start crying. Your CDC people, you just bring all kind of people and just put it in the government. Now the people trying to straighten. Do you see this as discriminating against other people, trying to set up a system where you can deny other people? What do you make of a statement about people with high school diploma are not coming, in government? They will forget it. They will not even pass. Let's hear from you, Mama.
Whosoever he is, Josiah, he playing because there is not a time to make that kind of decision. First of all, when you go look for a job, they have on the paper that every qualification, your high school diploma, a college student, who you are, they have to do all that background check first before they can hire you. And it doesn't mean because you are a sixth grade student, then you can't do 12th grade high school job. It's go by your experience. Your knowledge does not have nothing to do with your education background. In America here, there are people that not even go to school that I know from back home that they are working. But there's some other job that you're not qualified for that you can't go for. This black guy called me here. They're coming up with some things that just to avoid our people in our country and to just put them back up. First of all, you paying somebody $150. Is that $150 pay their college school fee? Someone that had degree that pay millions of dollars to go to college. Then you pay them $150. What $150 will do with their family? What can it do? Like my brother was just saying, Aaron was saying, he right. They don't just want to get people a job. They don't have job. They can't create no job. So the funding that means or getting rid of people. And that would be a big problem to Liberians. Because our brothers and sisters over there, they had that degrees. They don't hire those people that had a degree. They get a job to their families and friends that they think that they can use. They can undermine to keep in the civil service system. Some people stay home, they don't work, and they get paid. I know a man in the city here where I live. He work in America here, but he getting paid from Liberia. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And not today that they start. Native people working in the government, then 9,000 people he talking about. You want to tell me that those have been over there for over 40 to 60 years. Are you going to let them go? They already had the experience. You can't say because they are not college student. Is that now you want to bring your test for them to take test? You were supposed to they were supposed to have done that before they even hire you. You can't just employ somebody without knowing their background, their education background. And this doesn't have anything to do with the law in the country. This education we are talking about. So if anybody apply for housekeeping, you should know their qualification. You should know their level before you get in the job. If they're not qualified to be a housekeeper, you don't get in that job. You don't get in that position. But you can't allow people that already is on their job, that have experience, that been working all these years, and then now you're about to bring tests. So in case you bring the test and they pass it, and they are not even high school graduate, what will you do? What are you going to do to them? You still fire them? Or you will not still get in the job when they come in? Let's give an example. I'm a nurse. I don't know nothing about politics, but I'm a nurse. Then I go to the library and say, okay, I want to be a representative. But you bring a test, I pass it. So what you do, you say, because you nurse, I will not get you the position. So you see, I don't think the people are serious. They're playing. And if they are not careful in that country, then the boys and girls will get on their behind. Because they're messing with people's brains over their brains. I just coming in.
Thank you so much. My brother James, I sure you've not touched this issue, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
I want
yeah,
to,
I just want to make a
yes,
little
sir. Yeah,
input in that, even though the
definitely.
previous panelists have already delved into the issues.
Yeah,
But Prince, just what you said, the statement by the civil service boss is discriminatory, and only meant to let's say put or let's say treat certain group of people in the country, who are perceived, I will be blunt about this, who are perceived to have, certain political background or so, different from others. That's just the main intent. It's a strategy, so because I don't know what kind of civil service reforms that Josiah Joker is, coming about with, are talking about, people who have a high school degree or so, or people who don't have high school degree or what have you. You know, this was something that he started, when the government came to power, because just as Eric said, this man is an emotional person. I can tend to see him, being effective in a position that has to do with the human resources director, because the civil service boss is like the human resources director of the entire government. Because that's why you see all human resources directors or major, let's say, or ministries and agency falls on a civil service. So when Josiah Joker when he was appointed, the first step he started to take was to, or deliberately removed certain people he perceived as political opponents, or maybe people who served in the previous government, the seditions or so. They started to remove them from on the payroll and all of that. So all these subsequent reforms that he's just using them as a chicanery in order to remove more, people who is think that they shouldn't be in the system, or they shouldn't be work in the government. So it's discriminatory overall. So as Eric said, I work with civil service. I work in the private, I mean the public sector. So I'm a civil servant. I've been a civil servant in Liberia, before let's say leaving the job that I had at the time. So I work in the health sector. There are many health support staffs, in those various hospitals, government hospitals. They do not even have, like, or let's say the qualification of a high school graduate or whatever. But they are health support staff. They have gained these experiences. Some of them have even been at those places like the JFK Medical Center, the Redemption Hospital, and those other government hospitals. Some of them work in the housekeeping area. Some of them work in laundry. Some of them, even work in the HR area. And all of that, they are health support staff. They have gained the experience over the years. Even when the other people come with their credentials, or so, these people are the ones who even incorporate them by even tuning them, telling them how we do this and do that. So the basis for, let's say, academic, even though academic records or documents or what have you, they are important, but the issue of experience should not be overlooked. So the civil service boss statement is discriminatory,
it's discriminatory.
to those group of people. And what this will do is that it will, let's say, reduce the workforce in the country, and also demotivate these people who have been serving, their country in those areas. If you go at JFK, you will see you will see people who have 25 years experience. They have their high school documents. Some of them, they don't have the high school documents. Some of them just have that, maybe their paper, that they went through some kind of training or so. But they are doing the job.
Thank you.
So Josiah Joker, these are just subsequent policies that you continue to put into place just to target certain group of people and mainly seditions, just
Thank
to
you
get them
so
all of the system because that's the perception that the previous government or overload the payrolls and all of that. So all of these things, they don't have money to pay the people and all of that. They just want to continue to remove Liberians who are also, they have their right to work in government, but they just want to trample on their rights and violate their rights.
to
So
get back
it is
to
wrong.
thank you. To get back to our brother Randy before we round up this issue, the government of Joseph Numa Boyka, we must understand from day one, their proceeding is a clear indication that these people have come to empower themselves. We saw what happened at the MCC. The first group of people that were dismissed are people that they perceive to be seditions, and so therefore let's take these people out. Like somebody said, this is intended to remove people who they perceive that was brought in by maybe the CDC-led government to be able to infuse the system with their own people. But again, to our brother Randy, you are one person who calls for productivity. You have one person who have complained and you have condemned government, and say that, look, these people, their output is now matching, with what is expected of government officials. You've always been very critical of people, government officials who their performances have been very dismal. Now, don't you think, when we say, don't you think that this is a means to be able to weed out people who are not of standard within the system, to infuse people who are qualified that can be able to match with the necessary, maybe high output, instead of you beating on these people? You should be one of the person who will be able to promote this and be able to run with it and say, look, this is something that is very good because I hear, is vowing, or is rooting for productivity. Let people who are in government, let their work be able to produce the necessary and maybe output that all of us can benefit from. And you live in a system that is very advanced. One would say you cannot compare the advanced system here to that of Liberia. You have jobs all over the place. How do you respond to these critics of yours or people who will say these kind of words that you have been unfair in beating on these people for this statement? What do you say to that, sir?
Yes, again, is is not what they think of me. I think the question that you should be asking is, what strategy are they putting into plan that will provide an equilibrium result? I think all those on the panel today have made a significant contribution to the part and component of why we have the civil service agency today. I think Brother James spoke about people who've been there for 25 years, like what Brother Eric. Those people are people with institutional knowledge. You don't remove people with institutional knowledge. People stay in a job for a long time, they are considered in the professional setting as institutional knowledge. Now, when you come in as a new government, the first question here is, do you want to reduce the workforce, especially when you are coming in as a political appointee? Because Josiah Joker is a political appointee. We need to establish this fact that there are political appointees that come to position or professional appointees. Professional appointees is not going to look at things from a political standpoint. He's going to look at things from a professional standpoint that merit a strategy to maintain the people. What Josiah is doing, he's more of a political guy who wants to show to his boss and his partisan that he actually doing the work. But the government is not a political party. It is an institution that provides services to its people. So I think what Josiah Johnson should have done, very simple. Every minister, every agency director is to conduct what we call need and gap analysis. If, let's say, if anyone has gone to the civil service agency, you might want to look at the length of time people have spent over there, and then look in the civil service law as it relates to retirement. You can do what we call voluntary retirement services, and with a package. You sit down with the people, because if you want to re-engineer the process, you have to get it, put the benefit of the doubt. Number one, you start with voluntary retirement packages, free of charge. You want to do it, that's fine. The second thing here is those who want to improve their skills. You are the civil service. You have to look at what technology is offering out there to enhance the skill of these people. And if the man is just a mere high school graduate or non-high school graduate, but he has the credential based on experience, you want to offer the man some training that will enhance his skills. That means you're trying to increase the requirement, because what my sister said here, Ms. Cooper, she spoke about qualification within the civil service. And I think Eric and what his name, James, I mentioned the same thing too. We talk about education and the qualification. There are some qualification, like in the JFK and other areas, you have janitors. I mean, you expect somebody to come with PhD and say, okay, I passed the test, so I want to be a janitor. No, you're not going to do that, right? So look at the brother of Frank, who talk about the historical component of our people. Some of the things have been passed down. We call the thing cascading the idea. So what Frank was saying, somebody that want to cascade the idea to the reality. But I'm saying, Prince, if you want to re-engineer a system, there must be a strategy. The strategy should look at things from an improvement standpoint that will provide opportunity. But when he comes out and just bluntly say, we will not accept high school graduate, and even if you come to take the test, that for me is unprofessional. It's not only prejudice, it's discriminatory. And I think this guy, in my opinion, has no people management skill. People management skill is how you grow your population of people, how you encourage them. Because what he's doing is he's going to create, and I think everybody said that, a society of unemployment. The United Party, let's be political here. United Party one time said by 2030, they want to create a middle class. Do you really think what the guy is saying will actually meet up to that? So those who are asking the question, I wanted to ask Josiah Joker, those people who you want to deny, those people you are skeptical of, what will happen when you retire those 9,000 and 6,000 people? What would that do for the Boca who promised that he was going to create jobs? Does that meet the Boca expectation? And for me, I would say the Boca administration for 1 year and 3 months and counting, they have only promised, but they have been delivering disappointment. And this is just my candid opinion of them. Back to you, Prince.
Thank you so very kindly. My brother Eric will go to you and give you a minute for you to just round up on this and whatever recommendation you think you can recommend to the government, because this government talk about creating job opportunity for Liberians. So the next 1 minute, let's hear from you, sir, as you round up on this before we jump to the next issue quickly.
The thing is, we just be wasting our time if we recommend to these people, because they have come with, the mindset of wanting revenge, wanting to chest beat, and put people on the impression that they are competent. Josiah Joker reports to a president who has just an undergraduate degree. Josiah claims that he has a PhD. Why is he reporting to Joe Parker, who only struggling with BA degree? Since his whole issue is about academics. Why did he have to go sit on senators, how you call it, Sir Joseph and Darius Dillon, who still have not shown their high school paper to confirm him? Right? Since he breaking up a credential and all kind of thing, why he had to submit himself to Dillon, who up to now we do not know the high school he graduated from, neither the year. Where the senators, Sir Joseph, acquire his high school paper from, but he sat under those senators. Right? There are representatives over there who got no history of even entering classroom that I can summon him every day. He appears before them. Right? So if we have a system where our first branch of government, there's no academic requirement. There's zero academic requirement to work in the first branch of government. We have not solved that problem. These people who are making law, they have got no academic requirement. Anyone can contest to be represented. There's no academic requirement for that. We have not solved that problem. If the Unity Party is serious, they should now be talking about constitutional reform. To reform our constitution so that our lawmakers can have the basic academic qualification before they get into those elected offices. When that is done, they will be able to advance proper legislation.
Thank
We
you.
talk about recommendation. Josiah Joker needs to look at the civil service standing order and talk about repealing some of those laws that talk about high school graduates should have employment. He has to scratch that off first before Because if I'm not sure whether he's going to timber with the 9,000 people who have got just they are not high school graduate, high school dropout. I'm not sure whether he's going to dismiss them. Dismissing them, that's another whole drama in the country that can destabilize the peace. Not only is he going to test the 6,000 with high school people. Now, if he leave them there and deny order of coming, then that's a problem too. So why are you denying me of coming and then you're leaving other people in the system? So that's a whole issue. Yeah. Go ahead.
Eric, let me say that because we had dealt with similar thing like that on my job, and you know, cause in the US, I kind of like manage people, whatever it is, hiring and you know, dismissing, going to court. We're going through that. So let's just say, let me just play into every book, right? Let's say he wants to dismiss the 9,000 people. Well, if every year, let's say somebody spend 20 years on the job, and you say, okay, gentlemen, you guys don't have the high school credential. We want to change things around here, right? So you've been there for 20 years. All right. For the last 20 years you've been here, every month of each year you spend, we're going to give you $1,000. So we can let you go. So 20 years, every year of the 12 months, we'll give you $1,000 for each month, that equivalent to the 20 years. I would take that deal. The Liberian government will go broke. Think about that.
But yeah, I agree with you. But here's the thing: this government is struggling to pay civil servant 150.
That's why we don't bring
even the 150.
The government even want to cut the workforce because they don't have money to pay. Then
I agree with you. No, I mean when
if they have a union, Eric, then the union gets okay. We're not educated.
Yeah,
so
we won't go.
Pay for all the years, pay all $1,000 for each month for the last year.
Exactly.
You want to break the government
and the thing is, the civil service law says once you get employed, you should be in the system for 25 years, except you reach the age of 65. So that's a bunking year we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So some of you high school, drop off. Some of them they just been in the system for maybe 5, 6, 7 years or 10 years.
And some has even been there for the longest. Even when Ellen Johnson said leave town. Some people were just pushing the system. Somebody said, my brother here, the thing and I do you're putting in there.
Prince and Eric, to Brother Frank point, let us look at the statistics in terms of how long they stay over there, how many years they stay over there. Then they all can come and say, okay, 20 years, 25 years, 10 years, 15 years, pay off for every year, every month, every year. We're starting with $1,000 for each month. I would want to take that deal, Frank. I want to take that deal.
I agree.
You want to break down the government, but let's go to
I agree. No, 1 minute. Let me share an experience before you go, right? I used to be at the ministry in Liberia. There was a time we should have retired, a portion of our workforce. They have, passed the age of retirement. We could not, in fact, we would civil service say retire these people. Civil service could not retire them because they never had a retirement package. Mm-hmm. So as a result of that, though we have given a letter to say we only retire, we gave them a letter, but CSA could not take them off the payroll because CSA never had the package. So the people were not coming to work and they were making money. For years, they were making money because CSA could not pay them the retirement package because of what the law says. If you retire, you get to put a retirement package. They couldn't afford it. So the people were still, taking government money. So we have to address our economic gap. We do not have the money for some of these useless reform. And these reform, they are meant to make people jobless. There are more bread incoming. When people work, the economy grows. When people don't work, the economy suffers. That's why in the West, the people want to come to work. They need people to work. Josiah Joker is the only person who I see against people working. Every day he talks about dismissing, when he should actually be talking about expanding. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, let's go to my brother Frank. My brother Frank, use your next 1 minute and just conclude on this particular issue. We'll come to our sister and then we'll go to James before we jump to the next issue. Go ahead, sir. You have 1 minute.
I just want to throw light over there. Since they're looking for educated people, where is Mark Dabache credential? All right, let me continue. All right, so I know Eric said he don't want to give how they call it recommendation, right? I'm gonna give recommendation, and to how they call it Josiah or whosoever he is, I think he should subscribe to Honor the Palaver Hut. Now, let me say this to him. He said he's educated and he want to hire educated people. Let me tell you something. You see, in the Western world, what they do here is they don't look at your degree. They don't look at your GPA. That's why they always ask for your resume. It's a resume that determine your credibility, whether or not they're going to hire. They don't look at your whether you got 4.0 GPA. What they're looking at is where you have worked, things that you have done there, that is on your resume, those dot. Those are the things that they're looking at. I can have 2.0 GPA, you can have 4.0 GPA. But based on my experience, based on what I have on my resume, they're going to hire me. Before they met, I get a 4.0. They may not even hire, they met, I get a 4.0 when you have nothing on that resume to show. Now, here's another recommendation I want to give to him. Those people who have been on a job, the 9,000 or the 6,000, whatsoever, who have been there for that 20, 30, 10, 15 years. Now, he said reform. He want to reform his system. Let me tell you how you need to reform the system when it comes to economy or a nation like Liberia, right? You want to reform the system. Now, all these people you taking away, you say you save $4.7 million. That's lie. I don't even believe that. Now, you say you want to reform the system. In reforming the system, you can remove these people who been there for that amount of years. Then you bring in new people because you feel they have college degree or they have PhD. The issue here is the people you bring in who have that PhD, you're going to pay them more money. And the country, you say you don't have money. The people that have PhD, you're going to pay them more money. So in reforming, the people that are there already, if you bring in new system, new technology, all you need to do is retrain those people that have been there and you still pay them the same money. Because if you take them from there and you bring different people, you're actually going to lose more money because you're going to pay those people based on their credential, based on their degree. And then you have to even retrain them again. You have to put money into the system to train these people that you bring in. But the people that are there, you don't need to train them because they are already experienced. So all you need to do is just little resources that you need to put there because the new system you're bringing in to just charge them one or few things. I think you should retain these people, leave them back so that it will enable you to save more than $4.7 million. That's just my recommendation to him.
Thank you. Let's go to our sister Fita. Master Fita, what do you make of, what is happening? Let's hear you. Let's hear your recommendation. Let's hear you, Mama.
Prince, I think the people trying to play, they're cutting their cut in a way that, they want to hold Liberian people down, just to, delay what they're supposed to be doing in that office. They are almost going to 2 years and nothing going on. If you want to, go by codification, and now you're trying to bring people that is, more educated, those that already there, that already had the experience, you can't even afford to pay them. Then the people you bring in, can you afford to pay them? We are all saying the same thing here tonight. Those people that are coming in now, you said that they get degree. How about these people that have been over there all these years, 20 to 30 years, that stay on that job for all these years? You're going to let them go. You don't have money to pay them. Exactly. If you can't pay me, I'm not leaving this job. The 150 can't even come on time. I don't even receive it on time. Before I go sit down in the house, I'll be waiting for you to pay me. You don't even got Social Security retirement. You don't got unemployment. What kind of game these people trying to play? They just want to mess with our old people there in that country. Let's go to the health department. Those nurses, there are some over there, they don't even have the degrees. They don't even know their job. How can a nurse give C-section? Nurse cannot give C-section. If you are not an MD or a surgeon, you have no right putting knife on anybody's job. They've been killing people over there. They've been harming people, children in the hospital. Them. Do you ask for any qualification? Do you know where they get their degrees from? How they got in that place? But the just nurses are passing around. Where are the doctors that had the degrees that's supposed to do the official job? But y'all let the nurses not doing the job for them. How many people going home with scissors in their stomach? I have several stories about people that went home with infection. Because those nurses, they don't know what they were doing over there. Did you have a qualification right there? No. People dying right in your nose. You don't do nothing better about it. But now you want to come out with, oh, they want to get high school diploma. They want to get, they can pass the test. Have you get a test to them before they not pass it? They are just playing around. They're trying to mess with that B ring. They're wasting time just to hold back. So people say, oh, we're trying to straighten out something. That's why we went back up. These people that got nothing to do in that place, them, and they play around to my prince.
Thank you
They play
so
with
very
Nigerian
kindly.
people
Let's get to our
intelligent.
brother James. My brother James, let's hear your 1 minute on this while we migrate to the second issue, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Prince. We like the previous speakers have already said. We are all saying the same thing here. A guy like Josiah Joker who claimed or prides himself with a PhD degree that he just earned. He makes him the most educated person in the country. I think he shouldn't be fighting with some of these structural reforms. If I have to recommend to them because they are the educated people, they are the educated ones. I don't know if they can even accept recommendations. But I think the first priority issues that they should be able to address at the level of the civil service agency, like Eric mentioned, the civil service standing rules. These are acts of legislation and all of that. So if you want to reform, to bring about reform at an entity, you should first of all look at those policies that are on the book. And those policies, when you bring them, then you can be able to what talk with the legislature so that you revisit those policies and things and institute some of the measures that you want to be instituted. Before you talk about putting people down who are like been in let's say working and not have required high school documents and all those kind of things. But with the exception of that, you cannot just get up and just take jobs from people who have served the country for years and they have the experience and all of that. So you would just be creating the unemployment rate, more unemployment rate, and putting our people in abject poverty. So the first and foremost issue is that to be addressed by the civil service director is the issue of the policies that you have on the book there at the CSA that give right to people like high school graduates and people who are not even high school graduates or that are working within the civil service agency or so or in government entities. Be able to reform those ones first in collaboration with the legislature before you can start to institute those measures you want to institute. So that's my own recommendation to Josiah Joker.
But James, have
Thank
we have we have we addressed the issue about bribery in our university? The university he bragging about people paying
No, we
bribe
have
for degree.
definitely we
Do you know
just
how
hear from
many?
Doku.
Do you
we
know how
have
many
there are a lot
degree?
of things.
Do you know how
That's why I
many
said there are a
people
lot
with
of things
degree
to
cannot justify the degree?
yeah.
Kind
There
of
are a lot of
writing,
structural
horrible,
issues.
But
horrible
So
writing. Those are the
let's
people you
move.
call competent and professional people. The people
Sure,
that
let's
that
move on to the next
spy.
issue that has to do with
Josiah
our.
Joker said he's the most educated man in the country
Let's
now.
move to the next issue that has to do with the National Port Authority. But to just conclude on this Josiah Joker issue, I think Josiah Joker is drunk with power.
Power
He's
drunk. That's
drunk. He's
true.
intoxicated. Maybe he's intoxicated with the position of CSA boss, and we should be very careful because people must understand that Liberia, we have never had a system of, somebody will say, a meritocratic system where people merit these positions based on their academic qualification. When you look at our entire system, it is as such that most of the people who you see today working in government, they were either brought in because somebody they know, somebody will say, my man, my brother here, oh, my man, my this here, oh, my dad here. Oh." So that merit system is something that is not, that has not been encouraged. This is the fact that has not been encouraged from day one. Most of these people that you see working, either they have been recommended or they were recommended by somebody who maybe they brought in the system, or maybe somebody who put somebody there. And basically, when you look at our own education sector, when last have the common man been given the opportunity to actually excel, I mean, in his academic sojourn? So very long our people have been denied. I remember from the days of President Totman. Let's start from the days of President Totman. Some of the people who were working in government, they were sixth grade students. Sixth grade students. To the extent that some people can boast today and say, those days, the sixth grade, let's see what we learn, equivalent to high school graduate. How you tell me? Sixth grade, 1963 is equivalent to high school student. But you know, that's the system. And these are the things that people are still saying in Liberia. They say those days, the people then will learn. And it will surprise you to know, look, take a tour in the counties, right? Because of the kind of work that I used to do in Liberia, I visited all of the counties. I stayed there, you know, do Malay 1212. It will surprise you to know that there are people who are even teaching in the public school, a seventh grade student. I'm telling you this. Go to Grand. I will not even go far play. Let me go to my own county, Grand Cape County. I knew of people who were teaching. You will be surprised. People who were teaching high school students. When you ask, I mean, we had a geography. There was a geography teacher in Grand Cape County, St. Thomas High School. If I tell you that, I will not call his anyway. There was somebody teaching. Somebody teaching in the high school there. That was sixth grade student. Sixth grade student teaching geography, preparing people to go for WAS, to go for WAEC at the time. A sixth grade student, I'm telling you this live and direct. Do a tour around our own counties. See how many we have that are qualified to be in the classroom. You will be surprised to find people who are ninth grade students that are teaching in this high school. People who are even attending the school and at the same time teaching in the school. Some of these people that were even on jobs. Like I gave you an example, look at the military. Those days, there were people who were reckoned because some of these people work on other people find. Say, look, Johnny, I sending my boys there. I get about 5 boys who go into the military. Let the children then go there and go find something to do. At least let them just be able to help themselves. That's how people were going to the military. That's some of what people there you see. That why I say the Loma people there. We've not disrespect, but Loma man, military based, you know, you can't play with it. You got the paper there. I say, look, you put the people there, you know. And they were there, some of them, proper high school document. All the people know is say, president gave me gun, and don't give me English. He gave me gun, and don't give me English. Play, I fire you. That all. And these people, they were moving. And you know, you get their job and say, stand here, they stand into that gate. That gate is standing to. So for you to come in, this is systemic problem. Like somebody said, you know, it's a systemic problem. You don't just solve this problem from on the surface level. It's like you're cutting the grass from the head, you know, from the tip. You will not solve the problem. You got to take it from the root. So I think Josiah Joker is just a serious joker who people should not pay attention to. And if Joseph Numa Boyka is not careful, imagine we are in a system where high school students, some of them, when you listen, you know, some of the fun thing, when you listen to some of the things, you scary. You scare your eyes. But when I don't want a high school student here, then you come in, my people will begging you. Josiah Joker, find something else to do. But there is a serious problem at the National Port Authority. State-owned enterprises are not contributing towards the budget. From information that we have gathered, most of these people are contributing to Joseph Numa Boyka, how you call institution that he having. He say he get, according to him, the last time they stayed the launch, he get one, how you call organization, or he
Foundation.
get thank you very much, his foundation. Say Joseph Numa Boyka Foundation, they launch it. According to
That
the
foundation
information,
was dead prior to
most of these
prior to
definitely
ascendancy.
most of these people are contributing to the foundation instead of contributing towards the national budget. I mean, they are sharing whatever they have to contribute to the budget. And one of the entity that is doing that, that is very, you know, noted for doing that, is this particular National Port Authority with Sekou Dukle. Sekou Dukle has been falling short of his own contribution towards the budget. 2014, it was the same. You know, he's just been falling short. We are seeing now an issue between he and Yomli Kanga, or between he and some other people. The people believe that the National Port Authority is where they can send people. Imagine, it's where they can send people. People will just look at somebody and say, man, we're sending you 75% employ them. We're sending you this person employ them. And there is this issue, and I like to bring a courtesy of their own station, that is Spoon, you know, where the criminal preside, Stanton Waterspoon, who we are very sure supposed to be in jail. We don't know. But anyway, when that time reach, we'll discuss it. So Sekou Dukle sent out a communication that was last year. And in this communication, he highlighted people who are part of the Unity Party